My senior year, internet
I'm a
stopped.
little more sensitive to the heat end of our house.
Yes, we did. I remember that.
Oh, yeah, we have no longer.
Several.
Hi, hello, how are you?
And this big one, there was nothing on it. Gone. But they were like, this year. So we printed it and we found. And he was far away.
All right, about a few minutes, folks.
He went through like 6 steps. Yeah. Yeah, it was. I don't know. Well, he was out for like a month after he broke his collarbone.
Yeah, there seems to be a hobby with
Sometimes. I'm not very good at it. I have friends who are really good.
yeah, I'm happy that I don't really have one.
I've been off all week,
So people don't really find out.
but I got a second cat.
And my usernames were rare, but now have been lost in the secret.
How about you?
Are you? Yeah.
Physically fine, emotionally, vaguely last week. It's about this
Yeah, I heard it was rough.
apocalypse. My heart together. I've never seen it. Second season is like not either code.
It's very practical. Makes perfect sense.
It wasn't, but according to.
I had a friend who took 3 weeks off, came back in those 2 weeks after he got home.
One of my friends is watching it right now, which is almost at the end, so I'm fully expecting just a barrage of text messages, but.
At least not. Not so much IQ, it's more like so at least the I get transecurity.
And how are things apart from the
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's some names. And it, you get it. Yeah, I've got no practical. Him and I had as I was on. I got a second cat this week.
Yay, that's good.
Took the cat back this week.
Oh no.
what happened?
They were not, I was not able to keep them separated in 2 different rooms, and they kept interacting. The second one kept cornering herself, and it's 2 8-year-old
Time
cats.
to
7:30.
wait.
Yeah, I really wanted a cat for a long time. I accidentally got one.
Oh no. Me too. Sucks because I love them.
You know, I didn't think it was that. They sneeze a lot too, which was weird.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm allergic to cats.
It also was that. I think that specific one was worse. Yeah.
There might have been allergens.
Yeah, I'm allergic to cats, but I'm fine with cats. I like my cat to walk around with the carpet step.
My friend was on, and I stayed with her for like a week. And I was just taking allergy meds. And this is how like walk like in between my legs. I'm like, hello, you're very disturbing.
Oh,
But I was like, you're not making this easy for me.
I forgot to send it to you.
More of a dog person. So my cat kind of acts like a dog, kind of.
Yeah, and I've been, so the guy that I was working on it with, he's Australian, and so we both embrace secular pan-Arabism, you know?
Yeah.
Join the bath party.
It's a good combination.
He was like, I'm gonna get a bath.
Yeah. I love her.
She's so silly. Every time I like her in the kitchen.
He has another job,
It
so right now he's basically just like getting stuff.
gives us the most betrayed look we've ever seen in our life.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to start with a Nagun. We're going to do Nagun Yetzirah. Ba da bum ba da 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 dum, da 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 dum. Ba da dum ba da 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 dum, da 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 dum. Ba da bum ba da 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 dum, da 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 dum. Ba da dum ba da 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 dum, da 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 dum. Hi, ya ba 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 ba, ya ba ba, ba 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 ba. Hi, 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 yo, hi, hi, ya da 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 da. Again. Hi, ya da 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 da, ya da da. Ba 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 ba. Hi, 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 yo, da 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 da. One more time. Oh, ya ba 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 ba, ya ba ba, ba 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 ba. Hi, 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 yo, da 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 da. Hi, 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 ya da da, da 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 da. Hi, 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 ya ba ba, da 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 da. Hi, 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 ya ba ba, da 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 da. Hi, 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 ya ba ba, da 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 da. Hi, ya ba 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 ba, ya ba ba, da 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 da. Hi, 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 yo, da 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 da. Hi, ya ba 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 ba, ya ba ba, ba 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 da 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 da. Hi, 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 yo, da 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 da. Bum ba da bum ba da 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 dum, da 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 dum. Ba da dum ba da 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 dum, da 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 dum.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It seems like a rather weighty summer. Things keep happening. We've just come off of Tisha B'Av. There have been dramatic events in Israel. We have all kinds of things going on here. So I just want to assure you I will be talking about Israel, but I think I need a week more to process what's going on so I can find a Torahitic perspective to give to it. It's just a little too recent, a little too raw, and I'm not sure at this point I fully understand all the issues, but I'm working on it. So I'm going to keep it light this Shabbat. Of course, other important things have happened. The new season of Witcher has opened, and there are other things coming through our streaming. But here we are, great heat, seeking to find a soothing place to be for Shabbat. And so let's begin by finding out what's going on in the community. Now, the most obvious thing that occurs to me is the congregation has undergone a radical shift to the right, as far as I can tell. I'm not sure, we're usually a little more balanced, but somehow everyone decided to sit on this side of the room. I'm not going to judge that.
We're taking after Israel.
What's that?
We're taking after Israel.
Right, that's right. So enjoy and sit wherever you like. But I hope wherever you find yourself sitting, whatever issue you find yourself standing on, that you found some joy and some inspiration in the past week. Tovu Vracha, what good has happened to you? What blessing has happened to you? This is the thing I ask of you most, is to discover a sense of gratitude, a sense of joy in the things that happen to you during the week. So who has a Tovu Bracha for me? Jeff, please.
I've been off the past week, and I'm off the next week coming up. Finally decompressed and ready to enjoy.
Absolutely. Well, it's wonderful. So when will you achieve your full dimensions?
It will start tomorrow.
Okay.
A bunch of friends over for a really long board game day.
Nice. An excellent board game. Yeah, we normally do Christmas Day as our board game time. So that maybe we'll get you to come over during that time. Yes, RJ.
Some really good things happened the past couple weeks. And about next Sunday, we're going to Toronto, Canada.
I love Toronto.
See, Cindy's, when she married that Irish guy years ago.
Yes, yes, uh-huh.
Well, he got transferred to Toronto, we're going to see him. And right now, Letty is in Monterey.
Okay.
At the same oral surgeon that I went to.
Right.
She got not one, but 2 root canals done.
Oh, okay.
And she came out great.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Our teeth, they are the source of blessing and curse, aren't they? They just, it's so easy for them to be one or the other. But enjoy Toronto, have some smoked meat for me, and that would be great. Anybody else on this side of the room have a good and blessing to share? Toby.
Yes, a friend is coming from Washington. She was in the Army band for 25 years. She plays piccolo and flute, and so I look forward to getting together with her and playing lots of duets.
Absolutely, you'll have some hootenanny going on. That's great. How about over on this side of the room? Anybody want to share something good? No, no. Oh, wait. Yes, my dear.
Hannah's doing much better after her birthday.
It's so great to see you, sweetheart. We are so glad you're feeling better.
Yes.
That was a trial.
Yes, it was, but only 2 weeks in the hospital, she was much better. And we were back on our rhythm, and we have baby sister next week.
Wonderful, wonderful. So glad to have you back. Anybody up here on the bima?
My mother's visiting,
Uh-huh.
and that's a wonderful thing.
It is, absolutely.
The crossover episode of Strange New Worlds?
Yes, I enjoyed my crossover episode also. All right. So, for my good and blessing, my wife and I have been having a little bit of a machlochet, a little argument going on. She's very into Fringe right now, but I forced her to watch an episode of Justified, and I said, look at that writing. Look at that dialogue. And she finally said, you're right, they have better dialogue, they have better writing. So a small victory for me this week. I'm very proud of that. All right, so to get our Shabbat started, we want to kindle our Shabbat lights. It's my privilege to invite up Toby. We're going to be on page 1.
In the beginning, when the Spirit of God hovered over the darkness, God's first creation was light. As we kindle these Shabbat lights, we attest to the majesty of God's work and rejoice in its beauty. Light is a symbol of divinity and creative goodness. It is the outward sign of that inner spark which God has granted each of us. In hope and with love, we now welcome Shabbat with light. That's my phone.
It's the air conditioner.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahad lekner shel Shabbat. Praised are you, Adonai, whose presence fills the world, who hallows us with mitzvot and inspires us to kindle Shabbat lights. May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace. Amen.
Thank you, my dear. So, where did we decide to begin Kabbalat Shabbat this week?
Yismehu
Yismechu Hashemayim. So if we'll flip over to page 3 to Psalm 96. Yismechu Shemayim, let the heavens rejoice and the earth exult. Let the sea and all that fills it spring forth with thunder.
Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam umolo. 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 Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz.
Psalm 97, responsively. Adonai reigns, let the land exult, and the many islands rejoice. Dense clouds surround God. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of God's throne, and God's lightning illumines the world. Light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. O you who are righteous, rejoice in Adonai, and acclaim God's holy name. We turn now to Psalm 29.
Havu l'Adonai b'nei elim,
Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, Havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai b'hadrat kodesh, Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Ascribe to Adonai, you children of God. Ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name, and worship Adonai in the beauty of holiness. May Adonai give strength to this people. May Adonai bless this people with peace. We continue now with Lecha Dodi. Let's see, who am I going to call upon? I think we're going to have Helena and Toby do it. How about that? So, final stanza. Ladies and gentlemen, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha dodi likra kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 זמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקורך ברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עליך נגלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצור חולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
So come in peace, you crown of your husband, with rejoicing and with joy. To those who are faithful, a treasured people, come, O bride, come, O Shabbat. Mizmor shir layom ha-Shabbat, tov lahodot l'Adonai, ulzamir l'shimcha elyon. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to give thanks to Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, and to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a harp and with voice and lyre in unison. Sadiq katamar yifrach, v'ke'erez v'levanon yizgeh, and the righteous shall bloom like a palm. They shall thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. We continue now with Hatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chayedecho bet Yisrael. Bagala, u'vizman karim. B'imru amen. Yehesh me'rabba mevorach, le'alam u'lal me'almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal, shmei dekudesha brechu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvichata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'elma, v'imru amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, if able, please rise for the baruch. Ariv Aravim, praised are you, Adonai our God, whose presence fills the world, whose word makes evening fall. God opens the gates of heaven, and wisdom makes time pass. In the seasons to change, the stars in the skies move according to God's will. Adonai of hosts is the creator of heaven and earth, of day and night, causing day and night to alternate. May God govern us always to the end of time. Praised are you, Adonai, who makes this evening fall. And unending is your love for your people, the house of Israel. Torah, mitzvot, laws, and precepts you have taught us. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down, when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days, and then your love shall never depart from our hearts. Blessed is Adonai, who loves the people Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated, and if able, please join us in the V'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
True and enduring, beloved and precious, awesome, good and beautiful is this eternal teaching. This truth we hold to be forever certain. Adonai is our ruler, the rock of Jacob, shield of our salvation. Adonai, our God, you redeemed us from Egypt. You set us free from the house of bondage. For this the people who felt your love sang songs of praise to you. Living God, high and exalted, mighty and awesome, who humbles the proud, raises the lowly, who frees the captive and redeems the oppressed, who is the answer to all who cry out. All praise to God Most High, the source of blessing. And like Moses and Israel, we sing this song of rejoicing. Micha Mocha.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם. לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Cause us to lie down this evening in peace, O Adonai our God, and raise us up, O Sovereign, tomorrow to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war, famine, and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful Sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. O guard our coming and our going, that always we have life and peace. We praise you, O God, whose sukkah of peace is spread over us, over all your people, and over Jerusalem. We continue now with Tefillah. If able, please rise, page 17. Adonai sefatitita uvi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Ha'nora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevid Yoba Livnei B'neihem, V'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Michael HaKol Atara V'Hoshia, Michael Chaim B'Chesed, Michael HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somek Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato, Lishanei Ava, Mikamocha Val Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit U'Mechayeh, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atah L'Chayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol, Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yachalu Katzela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated, and we're going to be singing Vishamru on page 21 at the very top of the page.
Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Great say, Adonai, our God, show favor to your people and lovingly receive our prayers this night. May the worship of your people always be acceptable, for you alone do we hold in reverence. And we want to give thanks to you, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our lives, the shield of our salvation for all generations. We thank you and we recite your praises. Let all the living affirm you and praise your name as the God of our salvation and help. Praised are you, Adonai. Goodness is your name. All praises to you. So we wrap up with Shalom Rav. We ask for a measure of peace in our lives, and then we'll take a few moments for our own silent prayers and offerings.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol ein ubechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yase shalom shalom aleinu ועל כל ישראל יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Okay, I have to make this perfectly clear, and that is Barbie was a total black box to me when I was a child. I knew nothing of Barbie. I saw Barbie from afar in the sisters of my friends in their playrooms. I didn't play with dolls. I had G.I. Joe. I had action figures. And not this puny little G.I. Joe that they created in the 1980s fighting this fictitious enemy Cobra. No, I had American G.I. Joes and British G.I. Joes fighting against Japanese and German G.I. Joes. I had a French G.I. Joe with a beret who was there with a K-bar cutting the throat of an SS G.I. Joe in the back alleys of Marseille. So I know nothing about Barbie, and I know nothing about that kind of culture. But I did go to see the movie because Barbie's the mother of all gaming, right? I mean, long before there was G.I. Joe, there was Barbie. Before the next phase of what I did, which was war games, where I sat around painting little colorful British hussars and German, Prussian Jagers and French Trilliadors, there was Barbie. And then, of course, I left behind all childish things and found D&D. And there was Barbie. So when the movie came out, I felt the absolute need to go see it. And I knew that I had truly found a wonderful movie, and it is a wonderful movie, whatever people nitpick about it, when Will Ferrell, as the play CEO of Mattel in the film Barbie, shouts out, "Some of my best friends are Jewish," which is his response to the possibility that maybe Barbie isn't as feminist as one might pretend. It's a bizarre moment in which he's trying to claim that the company loves women, even though every single person on the board is a man. And there are certainly those who have criticized the film and say that it is, quote, a woke war on men, or something along the range of that. They should check for their sense of humor in The Lost and Found, because this is an insanely funny movie. The Barbie doll, no question about it, and I don't think this is controversial, is meant to be seen as a feminist, even if feminism is entangled in our modern issues of women's body issues and things like that. Barbie's rail-thin figure sparked backlash from feminists back in the 70s. Quote, "I am not a Barbie doll" was a chant from marchers at the 1970s women's strike for equality. Advocacy groups such as the Southern Shore Eating Disorders Collaborative have said that if Barbie were a real woman, her proportions would force her to walk on all fours, and she would not have enough body fat to menstruate. In the 2018 film Tiny Shoulders, Rethinking Barbie, Gloria Steinem said, "She was everything we didn't want to be." But, and this brings us to the Jewish part of all this, Ruth Handler, who created the doll and shepherded her through her first 20 years on the market, said that she, in fact, created Barbie in the aftermath of World War II to represent possibilities for women. Women, for those of you who are too young to realize it, could not open their own credit card in their own name until 1974. But Barbie, Handler insisted, could buy any outfit and have any career she wanted. Her fashion represented the future. Astronaut Barbie came out in 1965, 4 years before Neil Armstrong even walked on the moon. Now, I had a G.I. Joe who was also, and he flew in a Gemini capsule, but the Lahavdil, let's make a division between those two things. 18 years before Sally Ride became the first woman in space, Barbie was an astronaut. And while she may have a boyfriend in Ken, who never participated in any of my war games, in more than 60 years of toy narratives created by Mattel, she never married and she never had children. In Ruth Handler's memoir, Dream Doll, the Ruth Handler story, she wrote, Barbie has always represented the fact that a woman has choices. Even in her early years, Barbie did not have to settle for only being Ken's girlfriend or an inveterate shopper. She had the clothes to launch her career as a nurse, a stewardess, a nightclub worker. But what degree can Barbie be called Jewish? Because that's why we're all gathered here, isn't it? To talk about Jewish stuff. She seems to be nothing more or less than a shiksa princess. Well, I am certainly not steeped in Barbie lore, which I will repeat to you one more time so that you are completely clear. But looking at the movie, I took some notes. First of all, under all the camp, and there's so much camp, and all the candy-colored bling, we should recognize that the narrative of the film follows the arc of the book of Genesis. It's also closely linked to the real story of Ruth Handler, a Jew who manifests in the film as the sort of unexpected Jewish Dumbledore of Barbie Land. It's co-written by Greta Gerwig and her Jewish partner, Noah Baumbach. And we follow Margot Robbie's Barbie from her breathless existence in a static world to the moment when she feels uneasy about her life at forever happy and perfect Barbie Land. So she leaves that plastic paradise on a quest for the real world along with her boyfriend, sort of Ken, to find out what she's really about. The director actually makes it explicit. Barbie was invented first, and Ken was invented after Barbie, to burnish Barbie's position in our eyes and in the world. It's a kind of creation myth that is the inversion of the creation myth of Genesis. And then there is the loss of the garden, which is Barbie Land, and the human confrontation, which is with mortality. Like Eve in the garden, Barbie is given what is essentially a false choice by another Barbie, weird Barbie, the Barbie who has been mutilated. How many people have seen the movie? I don't want to give away too many things. Okay, a few of you have. I won't give away too many spoilers. Just as Eve can eat or not eat from the fruit of the garden, except for one fruit, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is a complete setup for her to eat it. At first, Barbie chooses to remain ignorant, but weird Barbie standing in for God makes her and us realize that knowledge is the only real choice. And like Eve, curiosity predetermines the outcome of what happens next. In the Bible, they realize they are naked and they feel ashamed, while Barbie discovers that suddenly she has flat feet and existential dread, and that her legs are getting a little celluloid. Like our mythic ancestors, she is then sent out into the cold, hard, not so paradisical world. And that's the story of why life sucks. All right? Beyond the biblical, there are a number of explicitly Jewish elements. The first of the many homages is that the opening sequence is borrowed from 2001, A Space Odyssey, linking the creation of Barbie to about the Jewish entrepreneur Ruth Handler by way of the Jewish director Stanley Kubrick. And then there is the Jewish representation in the cast. Kingsley Ben Adir, Anna Cruz Kane, Hari Neff and Rhea Perlman, all Jewish actors. Kensley Ben Adir, which apparently wanted to be confused with Ben Kingsley, I'm not sure what they were doing there, plays a Ken doll in Barbie. Now, he was born in London, and Kingsley is of European descent on his father's side and Trinidadian descent on his mother's side. She embraced Judaism, so converts, along with Jews of color, get a nod in this movie. Ariana Goldblatt plays the pivotal character of the daughter, the human daughter in Barbie. This 15-year-old's Jewish heritage comes from her father's side, while her mother is Puerto Rican. And there's even a Jewish Supreme Court judge. How could that happen? Filipina Jewish actress and writer Anna Cruz Kane plays a Barbie Supreme Court justice. And Anna, by the way, graduated from the Jewish institution Barnard College. Finally, and most infuriating apparently to some people, is that there is a trans Barbie who is Hari Neff. And this Jew with a difference is played to the greatest Jewish typical type of all. This trans Jewish woman is a Dr. Barbie. All right? How can you get more Jewish than that? The Jew in me cavils. Born in 1952 to a Jewish family, Hari is an actor, a model, a writer, an activist. She previously starred in the very Jewy Transparent, and she also was the first trans model to sign a major contract in America. But key to the Jewish backstory is that Barbie, once in the real world, stumbles into the spirit of Ruth Handler in a back room at Mattel, who then reappears at the end of the film to guide our Barbie through a kind of derivative Pinocchio-like decision about whether she wants to continue on in a never-ending plastic perfection, or whether she wants to become human and to change and to evolve and to grow and ultimately to end. That she makes the choice she makes, and this could be a spoiler, is the most Jewish part of the film. Now, I don't actually tell you what choice she makes, but anyway. And of course, it has been established by Ruth herself. It may prove to be an illusionary choice because Ruth Handler has been dead for quite some time, and yet here she is in the movie, right, in a seeming modern time. So maybe we don't have to choose between mortality and immortality after all. At the beginning of the cycle of my Jewish high school program, I like to show our kids a little 2005 short documentary called The Tribe, which is a dual history of Jews and Barbie. And in it, Barbie is presented as a blonde, blue-eyed Jewish woman. The director of the documentary, Tiffany Shane, who wrote the film with her husband, serendipitously named Ken Goldberg, is also blonde and blue-eyed, and she observes that she was often told that she didn't look Jewish, or she didn't look Jewish enough. And I think that documentary is wonderful for our kids to see. Right now, we're in a real renaissance of seeing all the different ways that Jews look, and there's no look, there's no one ideology, Shane writes. We are obligated, I also think, to note that anti-Semitism also plays a role in Barbie and always had in voice in defining Jews. Regardless of what American buyers may think Barbie is or isn't, Barbie has been labeled Jewish around the world by discriminatory bans. In 2003, she was outlawed in Saudi Arabia by the religious police who posted the message, "Jewish Barbie dolls with their revealing clothes and their shameful postures and accessories and tools are a symbol of decadence to the perverted West." Iran has also repeatedly halted the sale of Barbies since, declaring them both Jewish and un-Islamic since 1996. So whether we like it or not, Barbie is a Jew. All right? For Barbie, as for us, being Jewish is simultaneously a choice and an imposition. Like her, we live with a sometimes uneasy mixture of free will and destiny. All I can say is whatever our Jewish choices, whatever our Jewish obligations, Barbie comes to us again to remind us to try and look fabulous under all circumstances. So I would encourage you to go see this movie. This is, as far as I'm concerned, a total belly laugh movie. It is insane, and you have to know that it is insane from the very beginning. But there is a genius to it that I loved from beginning to end, and I hope you do too. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. All right, it's time for our announcements. Now, one announcement, okay, so it is Don who's doing our announcements, but one thing that's not on here, today we sent out a survey about the music we've been doing and our Shabbat services on Friday nights. It went to the entire congregation, but you didn't get it? All right, well, that's your fault, I'm sure. I particularly want to encourage the people who come regularly to Friday night. You're the people who are most invested in what's going on here, so I'd like to hear from you. We'll get you that survey. So please take the time to fill it out. Don, would you come on up here?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, announcements. Religious school registration will be starting next month on August 20th. If you have not already registered your kiddos already, now's the time to do so. I know we are also looking for teachers, and we are also looking for a Hebrew instructor. So anybody who'd like to volunteer for that one, please give us a holler. Speaking of religious school, here we go. I shouldn't ad-lib. If you ever had an interest in teaching for CKA, now is the time. We're looking for a teacher to lead the 3rd grade class. Teachers have full access to the ISJL curriculum and support from the teachers and staff who are around during the religious school day. You do not need to have a background in education or Jewish education or Barbieism. Call Casey Flansbaum and she can give you all the particulars. 5784 High Holiday Choir, calling all shower singers, Shabbat songsters, or anyone that has been told they can hold a tune. The High Holiday Choir for CKA is looking for new and returning members for the 5784 choir. You do not need any experience or background. It's a funny thing we have about that. You just don't need any of that. CKA Blood Drive. CKA Blood Drive is about full, but we could still use a couple of more live bodies. And Carter Blood Care tomorrow, July 29th from noon till 4. And where do we sign up?
On the website.
Okay. Tikkun Olam is no longer collecting medicine bottles. That program has run out. But if you want to figure out where to send them, if you still have some piled up at home, if you'll look in this week's blast for the link to donate them. Okay. Next page. Host an oneg. Beginning next week, last week actually, Congregation Kol Ami is changing our oneg process. Starting with the oneg on July the 7th, families will be able to pick a date or dates that they would like to host. You'll be able to sign up yourself on the website under Member Tools. You may host and provide food directly, or you can sponsor an oneg with a minimum donation of $40. please help us with this important mitzvah and sign up on the website now. Sign up for recurring payments. We are happy to announce, and, wait a minute. We are happy to announce a new and easier way to manage your dues. You can now sign up recurring payments on the website. And if you desire, it even allows you to donate the credit card fees to CKA. So where do we find that one? On the website. Okay. And that's it for our announcements.
So, Ms.
Shabbat list. All right, for those who need a blessing, we have Joyce Bloom, Natalie Bovino, George well, I'm gonna mess all this up, I can tell. George Carvinus, Mark Davis, Francine Feingold, Joel Friedman, Courtney Gillis, Deborah Goodman, Michelle Griffin, Jennifer Gross, Molly Kalig, John Kaufman, Deb Kaufman, Janice Keener, Lauren Koenig, Alex Koenig, Al Landon, Matt Levin, Phyllis Lorelei, Fran Mestry, Steve Meredith, Mal Milner, Anthony Nera,
Jacqueline, I know.
Okay, Gabby Olson, Paul Redwood Jr., Helen Rubel,
Ariane Sandler.
Dale Seaver, Susan Tabor, Happy Waterman, and Howard Watt.
You did great. It's a tough list.
Yes.
Hank Weil, Susie Quinlet, John Deneen, Rilda Hefner, Maxine Collins.
Jeff Bettman and Leticia Barilla.
Susie Jacobs.
Wait,
Nope, sorry.
Paris Snow.
me and Robin.
Erica Cox and myself.
Okay, and I don't sing.
I challenge you.
Yep.
Avotenu mekor hara leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberachimotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Thank you. So we're going to turn to page 82 for the closing prayers of our service. I'm thinking I would like to invite up Amy, and if she's up to it, Hannah. Come on up. Hannah, would you come join us up here? No? It's okay. That's all right. Amy, definitely. Page 82, everyone, please rise for the Elena. Bayom hahu, bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo echad. And now we recall with love and gratitude the name of those individuals whom we have lost, whether recently or at this time as an anniversary of death in this week. So I begin by asking, do we have anyone who's lost someone in the last 7 days? Anyone who's observing Shiva? No? For Shloshim, we're thinking of Selma Metger-Harden, the friend of Melissa Hart. Is there anyone else who has lost someone in the last 30 days? For this week's yard sites, we want to be thinking about Eleanor Austin, James Bunting, Patricia Collins, Ada Duder, Marilyn Friedman, Lillian Levine, Marvin Levine, Shirley Shipman, Mariam Virgo, and Sophie Watt. Is there anyone else observing a yard site? Thank you. In honor of all these people, we turn to page 85 and we rise together. We offer our prayers on behalf of those who are gone, but also in support of those who mourn for them. Page 85. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael Bagalal ubizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kutsha b'rithu. Le'elam yinkol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba mim shamaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'bromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us. And let us say, amen. Please be seated. So if you look through the Psalms, you see in a number of the Psalms specific references to the exile to Babylon, the destruction of Jerusalem, the return to the land. If you're here on Saturday mornings, we always sing Psalm 126, Shir Hamalot, celebrating the return to the land of Israel. But the ultimate psalm devoted to Tisha B'Av is Psalm 137. We know it in English by the rivers of Babylon. And we have the song sheet here for your lyrics. This seems to be a really appropriate song for us to be singing as we close out Tisha B'Av. So we're going to learn how to do this as a 3-part round. You're not going to make it easy for us, are you? No. Okay, we're going to learn to do this as a 3-part round. So how do you want to...
So first, I'll do the part in Hebrew. You can join in with me. We can be in unison. And then Kevin is going to join me. He's going to do the English part. And so we'll do Hebrew, then English. And then he's going to go into the round. He'll go back into by the waters. And you can join him there, or you can wait until he gets to we lay down and wept, and you can start your part 1, by the waters. Or if you're feeling really spicy, you can join in when he gets to part 3, which is we remember, we remember, we remember.
Did you get all that?
Yeah.
We numbered the parts on the papers also.
Yes,
All right.
Kevin and I spent some time.
We're going to roll with it.
Let's do this. Al-Naharot, 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 Babel. Sham yashavnu, yashavnu, gam bachinu, bezochreinu, bezochreinu, bezochreinu et Zion.
By the waters of Babylon, we lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We remember thee, remember thee, remember thee, Zion. By the waters of Babylon, we lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We remember
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So.
I wasn't listening to everybody, but I hope that it wasn't a cluster.
No, that was fine.
Okay, good. Well, you did great.